The painting industry is one of the last trades to be professionalized. It's a very low barrier of entry. You basically can just go and buy 2 rollers, a ladder, and you're a painter.
Hi, and welcome back to the newest episode of the EPI podcast. Today, we're taking you behind the scenes, and we're going to show you how we ensure that your project goes smoothly from start to finish. My name is Tanner.
My name is Mihai, and we want to show you what goes in behind everything. What happens behind the scenes to ensure that your project goes as smooth as possible and you have a great experience with us. And it's quite a bit, I would say.
It is, yeah. I think that people only really see, our customers really only see, maybe 1%. They just see the tip of the iceberg of what goes into how we prepare everything from the first interaction to us finishing the project, and then months beyond that, making sure that project is done perfectly to the best of our ability. So let's talk about, how do we first of all prepare ourselves for the initial interaction with the client and making sure that goes smoothly? Well,
I think first of all, before that, we should just dive a little bit deeper and really talk about why we do what we're doing, right? Like what is the motivation behind doing this, and why do we want to ensure that the customers have a great experience to begin with? So what would you say it's our why? Or what is your why, I should say?
From my perspective, the reason that I think that I'm so on board with this company is, first of all, your dedication to making sure that this is, that everything is done properly. But, if we go a little bit deeper, there's a reason for why you've kind of created this vision for this company from inception, which is to raise the standard for the painting industry, but not just the painting industry. I mean, you could take it a step further even and say, just for all contractors, the entire service industry, where a customer is entrusting their home to another person to make sure that the highest quality job is done. And so I think that, if you could summarize what the mission is, it really is to kind of elevate that standard to make sure that customers are getting the best possible experience, and just creating freedom within that structure for us to operate and then really hone in on that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest thing that I noticed when I first came to Canada and when I started this company. And I think this is pretty much worldwide. It's not only here. The painting industry is one of the last trades to be professionalized. It's a very low barrier of entry. You basically can just go and buy 2 rollers, a ladder, and you're a painter, and you get a brush and you're a painter, right? So you probably notice this a lot whenever there's a strike somewhere, or there's labor shortage and stuff. Like, everybody becomes a painter. Kijiji gets full of painters, and Facebook Marketplace and everything, right? And that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's it is a skill. It's easier than other skills. For example, let's say an electrician or plumbing, where a little bit more knowledge is needed, right? This way, you just go up, you put some color on the walls, and you're good. So my vision, why I wanted to start it, I wanted to make a difference in this and just really, better this industry, and just try to offer the customers and the community a service that's very valuable and that treats everybody with respect, and that delivers value for what the customers are paying. Because I think ultimately that's what it is. It's what kind of value are you bringing to that home? Whether it's you're improving its resale value, you're improving the space for the homeowners, for them to feel good and be able to create on their life vision and everything, and be in a space that feels like home. I mean, we do spend the majority of our time at home, right, when we're not working. So you want that space to reflect you and to give you a good foundation for you to grow in whatever you're trying to accomplish in your life.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned freedom within that structure. It gives us freedom within the company, but it also gives the customer freedom as well to kind of express themselves in whatever it is that they would like for their home to be.
Yeah. So maybe we should just go into, how do we ensure that we achieve this, right? And what are we doing to better the industry, and what we have been doing from the beginning, and what our mission and what our vision is, and and stuff like this.
Yeah. So one of the things that I really appreciate about this company is the structure, and that applies to everything from the initial interaction all the way till the final, we give the home back. So let's start there. Let's start with that initial interaction, making it easy for the customer to get a quote and easy for them to communicate with us.
From the beginning, I was very, very big into a systematic approach. Every single step that we created, and every single step that we interact with the customer, or we're doing in our process, it has a very well-planned system put behind it. When you contact us, or when somebody contacts us for a quote, all those details, they automatically go into a system that notifies the appropriate person, the salesperson, or myself, or whoever has project manager, or whoever has to take an action with that customer. They get notified, they get it in their calendar, so they know exactly what needs to be done, right? And then when we set an appointment, we usually communicate with the people. We send a reminder a day before to ensure that it still works for them. And if we go there, we're not gonna have nobody answer the door, or they forgot it. Life gets busy, right? And everybody has their own things.
Yeah, that system helps to keep track of the customer communications and notify us when we have appointments, when we're supposed to reach out, if somebody is supposed to fill out a form or anything like that. Right from the get-go, it's systematized. And so it really takes you can have the best intentions in the world to get back to somebody or to stay organized or whatever. But like you said, we're human. Things get busy.
Yeah.
And when they do get busy, how are you managing to stay on top of that? Because if we're not on top of that, then the customer feels it in the end, right?
Yes, absolutely.
They're the ones who are waiting for a response, or they're left in the dark. They don't know what they're supposed to do next, or what's coming next, when we're going to show up. So this just helps with that.
Yeah, and it ties back to what we said that our mission is, right? We want to create the best experience. And there's not a good experience if you don't show up to an appointment, or you're late, or anything. So, things happen, right? Even when we go to appointments, sometimes you're late, or sometimes you're having a prior appointment that we get very chatty people, and you don't want to really stop them. So that might go a little bit longer, but we also try to call right away. So if we're running late, we'll just pick up the phone and, hey, we're on our way, but we're going to be a little bit late. And, customers appreciate that, because the worst thing is not knowing and just guessing. So,
yeah. And I think that, you can have all the systems in the world, right? But it has to align with that desire to make the customer's experience better, right? So it's the systems are great, but it's also having that motivation, that desire to make that experience good, right?
That's at the core of our company, I think. And I think everybody that works in our company has the same values and has the same deep desire to really create greatness, right? And just show in everything that we do. Because, our painters are the same. You will see them when they're in the house and they're working. They're so attentive to everything. And if they feel something that with the scope of work, let's say maybe the customer didn't want to go with a different package, right? Where is like the premium or the prep level 2, and they said, oh, there's no repairs to be done to the walls and stuff, and then our painters go in and they're like, okay, well, this is not gonna look good. They're very attentive to these things to ensure that everything's good. So then we get back to the customer and explain to them the situation. Listen, this is not really gonna look good if we do this. And it's in everything that we're doing, everybody's has the same focus.
Yeah. And that really starts from the hiring process, but we won't get into that right now, right? We want to talk a little bit more about, just how the systems, because we're trying to go behind the scenes, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about I don't know, what should we start with? So we've got the forms, we've got the online forms, we've got the website, right? Makes it easy for people to consult with us.
Yeah.
And then from there, once we do the consultation, then we get to the quotes.
Yes.
And how do the quotes reflect that mission, would you say?
So for the quotes, we are very, very detailed with everything. When we price a project, we always price it the same. We use the same production rates. We use the same system always to ensure consistency and to ensure that the price is even across, and we're not making differences based on the postal code or what car you're driving or your position in society or what you do for work. And we are trying to give that quote out, or to put that quote out and send it back to the customer within 24 hours. That's regardless if we're doing a virtual quote or if we're doing an in-house quote.
And so once they get the quotes, I think a reflection of that as well, the same idea, the same mission, is the amount of detail that goes into those quotes, so that the customer is very clear on exactly what they're getting.
Yes. So that would be one thing. The other thing that we also think about this, we're trying to make everything as easy for the customer as possible. So all our quotes are delivered electronically online. You'll get a link in an email, and you click on that link, it's going to open up to you. We made the acceptance of the quote and contract very easy. It's just a click of a button and an e-signature, and we're all good. All our documents are pretty much online. We don't use paper. We don't have people print and sign and send to us or nothing. So we're actually a paperless company. We don't really use paper unless it's to scribble down some notes, or
especially wallpaper. We don't use wallpaper.
We don't use wallpaper. We also follow up with the customers after. So it's not that you got the quote and then you never hear from us. We try to follow up on it, to see if you have any questions, to see if you have any concerns, to see if maybe you want to change something. Maybe the quote is too high. Maybe you want to remove some areas.
I think it's just a really nicely detailed, broken down, very easy to understand. And then it's easy for you to accept the quote. And then from there, you get to the color selection and the project logistics. And so we're making that step easy for you as well. We'll send you a form. You just have to read through the form. You don't have to worry, am I going to have to think of this? Am I going to have to think of that? We're going to cover everything for you, right? So
we have a pretty detailed system in terms of what happens at each step and everything. I mean, not everything, I should say about 75% of our system, it's automated. So it's based on whenever you accept the project and we create a project with a starting date, then our system works backwards. So there's something happening at each time mark. So 30 days before the project is scheduled to start, you're going to get an email. That's all automated to make sure that you do get that email and that somebody don't forget to send it, right? That's our project logistics. Then 2 weeks, you're going to get another email with some other information and a checklist with how you can prepare your home for our arrival. Then the Friday before we start your project, you're also going to get a confirmation email with which day we're going to start and what time our painters are going to be there. And there's going to be a description of each painter that's going to be in your house with a picture and a little bit of a bio about themselves. And it's just all these little things that, maybe they don't seem much, but they put the customer at ease and they don't have to wonder, oh my God, what's happening? I've never heard from these guys. Are they going to show up? Are they not going to show up? What's going on? Who's going to be in my house? How long is it going to take? And stuff like this. And then we also, like, you as a project manager at this time, we also have a very detailed process for the project manager based on every day on what's happening on the project. And we have our internal communication with our field painters. So everything kind of comes together, right? When a project starts, we have a program that we're using for our internal communication where each job gets its own channel. That's where the painters are getting all the information. They're getting their work orders, they're getting their pictures, they're getting the information from the project logistics with where can they park, which washroom can they use. And then we also have that channel to communicate from the field to us in the office. So the painters will take pictures of any damages in the house before we start. They'll look for absolutely anything that happens with the project gets documented in there. At the end of each day, each painter has to make a end of day report with pictures and what they've done that day. So what this does, it just keeps us in the loop of what's happening. We're able to see where the project is and are able to communicate this with the customer in real time at the end of the day. Okay, what's happening? Are we on schedule? Are we not on schedule? Are we ahead of the schedule? Any issues that might have happened, that some things that were unexpected come up, or
maybe the customer decides they do want another area of the house painted after they've seen now. Okay, so then they can just post that and say we need a change order.
Yeah,
that gets done, sent over to the client. They can approve it right away. Keeps the job flowing. It just makes it so much easier for everybody.
It makes it easy, and it's very easy when everybody's on the same page, right? Because there's nothing worse than a customer contacting myself or you and talking about something, and you're like, oh, I'm not really sure what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So this way, it keeps everybody in the loop. It keeps a very tight, clean communication between the field and us, and we're able to do very, very quick changes, I should say, on anything that happens. We're on top of everything, and this makes a big difference, right? Before we finalize the project manager will get in touch with you to schedule a final walkthrough. This would be the time when we go around everything with you and we make sure that you're absolutely happy with everything and nothing got missed, and just make sure that overall everything has been done as to what we promised in the contract and in the quote. And we clean up everything. We leave all the paints with you. We mark everything on where they go and what they are. And that pretty much concludes the project. We would reach out to you in a couple months just to make sure that everything is still good. And if we do miss something or something hasn't been done, maybe you discover it after we left. Maybe it was a cloudy day when we did the walkthrough, and then you have a sunny day and something shows up. Just reach out to us anytime. We have no problem. We actually want to come back and fix whatever it is, because it is our name on everything that we're putting, and we want to make sure that's all done.
Just to kind of summarize everything that we just talked about, I think that it's the systems that we have in place in alignment with the people that we have working, and that overall mission to kind of just make things easier, to create systems, to create freedom, and allow the customer to express themselves, to really kind of see their vision of what they want their home to be come to life, right? So yeah.
What would you say that makes us different from any other painting contractor?
So one of the things that I can refer to even like things that I've heard from other painting contractors, which is that we have really high standards. Other painting contractors will actually refer customers to us sometimes when that scope is out of their reach, because they know that we've got the team. So if it's a big project, we've got the team to deliver the final project on time. And they're comfortable recommending us because we have such high standards. So I think that, those things in combination with the systems that we have in place and that whole kind of mindset, which is that we're not just painting walls and trim and doors and blah, blah, blah. It's really more about the experience, making sure that things are done efficiently. And, I think that, as we mentioned in the beginning, we are trying to raise that bar, because I think until now, as you said, the barrier to entry was very low. I think people viewed painting as kind of this, it's almost like an afterthought, but it really shouldn't be, because the beauty of your home, it's not just about the color, it's about
the details as well, right? Like this is you saying about other painters recommending us. We get that quite a lot. I get quite a few friends in the painting industry in Sudbury that are business owners as well, and they own painting companies, and they know the level that their painters operate at, and how much can they do, or what level can they do, right? So if they have a picky customer, or there's something very intricate, or something that needs a lot of eye for detail and stuff, they would call us and have us do those stuff for them. Another thing that I think separates us from everybody else, it's that we're on time. All the time.
As small of a thing as that might seem.
We're on time, and we stay on a project until we finish it. We don't come in for a couple hours here and there and then take off and then come back in a couple days and stuff. When we start the project, we're going to be there from start to finish. Another thing is that we got quality control at every point we can. We have lead painters on a job site all the time that they know what good quality should look like, and then if we have any apprentices on the job site as well, they'll periodically check on them, and then we're showing up every day quality control on the lead painters, and it's just it just creates this loop where we make sure that everything is really, really properly done.
There's a high level of kind of we hold each other accountable. Yes. And I think that makes a huge difference. I think that there's a lot of one-man operations, maybe two. And it's they're really kind of just left to their own tendencies, and no one's really checking in on them. They're not answering to anybody. And I feel like as a team, we really do answer to each other.
Absolutely. So, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that makes a big difference as well.
Yes, and communication is a big one as well, right? Like we talked before, communication between us and the field and the painters, and as well communication between us and the customer, because ultimately we want to make sure every day that the customer is happy with what we're doing, right? And then if they're not, at least we know and we can correct it right away, whatever that is. Maybe at the time of the quote, we discussed about something, but maybe they misunderstood what we were talking about, or maybe there's a discrepancy between the quote and what the customer really desires and what their goals are. So we want to make sure that we communicate heavily during the painting process, because that's the time when we can change anything. And we're very flexible. We're very easygoing. Ultimately, our goal is to make you happy, the customer. You know what I mean? And we're very aware of having our team members happy as well, because if they're unhappy, then the customer can never be happy, because it shows, right?
Well, that is another thing I would like you're touching on right now, which is the culture, the company culture. I think that we really do function as a team. We've got our weekly meetings where we can all discuss ideas of how to improve things. We'll talk about upcoming jobs. We talk about how to make things efficient. And then we have, like our fishing trips that we go on and things like that really kind of bring the team together. And I think that it just makes for a better work environment and better communication, and that just really, I think it's reflected in our work and the experience that the customers have when they're dealing with us.
Yes, well, we get that all the time, right? It's, the work is amazing, but your people, oh my God, they were so nice. Like, we've had such a good time, and we just, we loved having them in the home, and it feels like family. And, we have a lot of customers that they cook for them, and they make them lunches and everything. And it's just nice. It's just nice to have, the right people in your home when you're doing a project, and not feel like, you gotta worry that, oh my God, it's a shady guy in my house and all this stuff. And I shouldn't say, because we'll keep on saying guys, but we actually do have two girls on our staff, two women on our staff. And, we like the balance, and, we like what they bring to the table as well, right? Because not to make any differences between men and women, or which ones are better or not, but there are certain projects where maybe that that female touch or that feminine touch maybe helps or it might be required. You never know. And you touched on the company meeting. I think that's been one of the best things that we could have ever done. We've started about 3 years ago, I think. And every Wednesday morning we meet together at the shop with everybody, and we really listen to any input that our painters have from the field, because they're firsthand with everything and they feel the smallest differences and the smallest things, right? They're very, very aware of everything. So we, like you said, we talk about the previous week's project and what went wrong or what went good, or if somebody did something different that they got a better result, then they communicate to the rest of the team, and we're just trying to improve as a team. Is there something that we could have done better, more efficient? Because ultimately, if we're more efficient, then we can save the customer money, right? If everything goes smooth and there's no mistakes and there's no anything, it adds to that experience.
And I feel like the company meetings, they also inspire us to learn. It inspires everybody to be creative, to come up with new solutions. And like you said, like the people who are in the field doing the work, it can be the smallest little thing, like what caulking do we use? And somebody goes, oh, I tried this other brand and I think it's great. Okay, let's give it a try. Or this wood filler. I like this wood filler. I use it on a home project and we should try it out. Okay, let's try it out. Or I watched this video. It's like, I feel like us talking about what we're doing together as a group, it inspires everybody to go, okay, well, this person maybe brought this new thing to the table. I've been thinking about this thing. I'm going to present that. Let's try that out. We experiment with it. It's better. It makes, a better job, makes things more efficient. So it's really kind of,
it's nice. And we also have our channels on our internal program where it's things to improve. And, everybody keeps on, whenever they see something on the internet, they see a TikTok video of somebody doing something that looks cool or that it might make our life easier. They post it. And, all these things like just really, really help out. Like it really creates this greatness, I should say, because I mean, we're not perfect by any means, but we have come a long way from when we first started. Because I mean, it was very easy just being one painter on the job site painting when I was by myself. There's you know what you're doing, everything's easy, it's only one point of contact. As you grow and you're adding more people, then it's very easy to lose that in the communication, right? And lose the important fine details and just dilute the quality. So I think this company meeting and all these things, and that together with our team having this mindset and having these values of constant improvement and always do the best you can, really helped us maintain that level of quality and that level of customer service, because this is what you hear everywhere. Oh, when a company grows, it gets diluted, right? And you're not getting the same touch. I mean, to a point, it probably will. Like if you're growing and you have 100 employees, then maybe that might be a little bit different, right? But to this point, I mean, I think we were able to keep it good, and I think actually we really improved from before, because everybody's bringing something different to the table, and everybody has different strengths. And some people maybe they're more attentive to emotions or more attentive to they pick up on the customer mood and the customer stuff. Maybe other people wouldn't, right? So then by all of us constantly communicating about these things, we can really deliver the best experience possible out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's probably how we ended up in this position right now, where we're doing a podcast, right? It's just that we're always sharing ideas, right? And as the company grows and people are introducing new ideas, you end up kind of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and trying new things, and I think that's a really great way to grow. Yeah,
well, it's also the mission, right, that we have, is we're always putting the mission before anything else. Like, I mean, if you would have told me 2 years ago that I would be in front of a camera doing a podcast, I probably would have said that you're crazy, right? But it's definitely not my norm, and it's putting me out of my comfort zone quite a lot. But these are necessary things to do to ensure that the customer experience, it's that much better, because what we're trying to do with this is just put out as much valuable content to help you with the decision or help navigate our services, before you're making a decision or after, right? Because let's face it, we all do this when you're buying a product or you're buying anything. You do a lot of research, and there's nothing better than when you find you're trying to buy a product and you find a page dedicated for that with all the questions asked and a couple of videos of the product review or how everything is gonna go. It just makes that decision that much easier, right? So I mean, this is pretty much where we are now. And this is the next step that we felt it's missing from our service, that this would be really nice to have out there. So we're doing it. I don't know if anybody's gonna find value out of it, but we're doing the best we can, and I'm sure
I think people will, even if it's just kind of getting to know us a little bit, getting to know our company a little bit more, and then just us providing our experience with things. And people can learn from not just our mistakes but our successes as well. And find some value in that.
Maybe this is gonna take out some misconceptions that people have about us, right? Or the painting companies in general. Because for us, I mean, we always hear this: oh my God, you're so much more expensive than the other guy, right? And you must be ripping people off. And in fact, it's not. Like it's we don't want to talk badly about the other painting companies and stuff, but there is quite a bit of undercharging going on around in Sudbury, right? Like I have a big group of painting owners from pretty much everywhere in North America, and we are part of the Painting Contractors Association. So I do go to a lot of conferences and stuff, and we talk about price, we talk about what goes into it. And in order to run a company and be profitable, because let's face it, I mean, we want to raise the bar in the industry and we want to deliver this customer experience, but at the same time, we got to ensure that we make enough money to pay our team members a good salary, to ensure that they're being fairly compensated for what they're doing. And in order to run a company that has consistency and that has systems and all these things, you got to have a little bit of an overhead, right? You got to have a shop, you got to have a home base kind of, or not a home base, but like a central base from where everything's happening. You gotta, we have a lot of tools here to ensure that when we're on a job site, we have everything that we need. And we are running multiple job sites at the same time.
We can take people through a tour of our shop sometime and they can see everything that goes into...
I mean, there are, all the tools. When they come back, they have to be restocked. They have to make sure that they're ready for the other stuff. We got to have a
vehicle. We got to have...
vehicles, all the stuff. So, we're not trying to rip off anybody. We're just charging enough to make sure that our business model it's successful and everything gets covered for. And of course, like, we're making a profit, because every company is out there to make a profit, right? So again, I don't want to bash or talk badly about everybody else, but I think this is where that discrepancy comes from. And I mean, we might be a little bit more expensive, but we're also delivering a lot more than everybody else, and a little bit more value, right? Just the lifetime warranty, free touch-ups for life, making sure that we're on time, that commitment to creating a very easy experience for you, so you don't have to worry about anything when you have us in. So all this come at a cost, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're really going above and beyond what most people would expect from a painting company, right?
Yeah.
But that's like what we talked about earlier. There's the way that things are right now, and then there's our vision of how a painting company should operate.
Yeah.
And, I think that one of my hopes from this too is that other painters might watch this podcast and think to themselves, okay, maybe I can do things a little bit differently as well to help to bring the entire industry up, because it's really only good for everybody, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a win-win.
Well, I mean, this is always been my focus too. It's not, I don't really see us having any competition around. There's so much work around to go around for everybody, right? And I find that just by executing your plan and do your part of the process as good as you can, and try to improve on every step, and that should take care of the problem. And if everybody does that, and I mean, the whole world would be a better place, right? You'd hear a lot less horror stories from everybody, because that's one of the biggest things whenever we go in the homes. And they would pretty much do it. So we are in contact with quite a few other business owners in town, and we're constantly talking. Whenever I talk to them, like we share information. We're talking about products. We're talking about maybe they figured out something different. Maybe at one point we're actually even gonna have guests, other painting business owners around, or painters, or just to get this going, right? The goal is not for us to be the the kings of the jungle,
of the painting industry.
We just wanna. I mean, I think we have the means, we have the resources to do this. We got the knowledge to do this, so might as well just help out wherever we can, and hopefully other painters don't take this as an insult, or we're just trying to put everybody down.
No, come on the podcast, and we'll talk, and
we're
can
very
share
friendly
ideas.
And we're definitely not competitive in that way. We're very competitive with ourselves, and try to do better than what we've done yesterday and what we've done in the past. And I think that's the best competition you can have. If you're competing with yourself, then you're always going to be better, and you're always going to put a better product out.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you say other misconceptions about painting projects would there be there?
Maybe that people can kind of do what we're doing themselves. As you mentioned, there's a pretty low barrier to entry. And so what we're and you said it yourself, what we're doing isn't rocket science.
No.
However, there are levels to painting, just like anything.
Yes.
There's everything from a color change to we're repairing and fixing everything, and we're painting every surface in a room. Maybe you even get into cabinets. So there are levels to what we do. And yes, it's more expensive because we are doing all of the work for you. We're doing all of the thinking for you, and we're actually doing the work for you. So I think that's probably something that people might be misconceiving about us, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, it's not rocket science, and you can definitely paint a color in a room. It's just a matter of how that paint job looks at the end of the day. When the sun shines, are you seeing streaks? Are you seeing a bunch of imperfections? Are you know what I mean? It's a matter of what the goal is. So there would be one. The other one would be a misconception that painters are unreliable. I don't know if that's a misconception. I think we're still kind of like at maybe a 50-50 rate. Like, it's getting a lot better. There's a lot more newer painting companies coming out there that
more reliable.
Yeah, they actually show up, and they try to do a good job, and they do a good job. But there's still some out there that keep the name of the painting industry where it's been known for decades.
It's definitely progressing in the right direction, and hopefully we're contributing to that. I think that is definitely a possibility, because we do have a reputation around town. People do know us. You mentioned this in some of the other podcasts that we've gotten a lot of awards. And then I mentioned earlier that we get references from other painters. So we do have a reputation. I think that other people, other painting companies probably look at us and think, okay, well, what are they doing, and how can I make the customer experience better?
One of the biggest misconceptions when I started was that you can never find people to be just as good as you to do the job, right? And I think this is something that a lot of other painters out there, they have this mind block, right? Because when you're a perfectionist and you're trying to do good work, you're very focused on every single little detail, right? And you're like, I'm the only one that can do this. Nobody can do it as good as me.
Yeah, they'll miss it. They'll miss everything.
That was me for the first 4 years of this journey, right?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I realized that, maybe I'm not that special, and maybe other people can actually do this. It's just a matter of just setting the stage for them to succeed, right? And make sure that you have the system and the communication and everything else to ensure that you're delivering the same thing. And I think a lot of other painting contractors out there that are maybe like one person doing the work, owner operator, or maybe they have a helper. They think that's
as much as they can grow.
Ceiling, as much as you can grow.
Yeah.
And that's definitely, like, for me, it was the same. And when I had 3 painters, I was like, oh my God, I'm pushing the limits already. And then we had 5, and then we had 6, and then we had 9 at one point. And I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? You know, but with the right system, it proved over and over again that, you know, yeah, we can really do this, and you just have to have the right people, and you have to have the right training systems. And I think first of all, you have to have the desire to do, you know, to do good, and not just run a company just for profit and just to make money. Because like for us, I think money, it's kind of secondary, or third or fourth or fifth. We don't really we don't really put too much attention on it, as long as the numbers make sense, and, you know, we have the numbers where they should be, and the company can keep growing and develop itself. Then, you know,
that might be a misconception that people have, is that we're just rolling in dough. You know, they're charging that much, they must be rolling dough, but we really invest it back in.
Well, I think pretty much everything goes right back into it, right? So it's I mean, it's an investment, and we have big goals, and we want to grow provincially, and we want to grow nationally. So everything that we do, we're doing it with that goal in mind, and we're just, you know, trying to really put the system together and perfect it to be able to accommodate that growth, and ensuring that that everything stays the same quality wise, and you know, the touch and the personal feel and all that thing. So.
You know, and if you think about it, if you extrapolate enough, you realize that what we're doing really is trying to improve society in many ways, right?
I would say so, yeah.
We're I mean, not just from the paint jobs, but like the employees, making sure that they're well taken care of. The culture, making sure that everybody is, you know, part of a cohesive group. And that takes me to you know, another point that I wanted to get to, which is how, as this company grows, we're going to see a lot of improvements in our industry, but for a lot of people in general, right? Because you've got the employees. So as we open up more companies, or more, what would you call it? More locations, more people get hired. More people learn the skills that we're teaching our employees here, and the skills that you've built up, creating these systems and making sure that this is a cohesive kind of ecosystem, right? And so as we can create more and more units just like ours, I think that we're really doing a lot to improve many people's lives, you know?
Well, that's the goal too, right? Like, I mean, for myself, my why I started this company, first of all, was just to create something better than myself, was to raise the bar in this industry, just try to avoid people being ripped off, and, you know, like, just not getting what they do. It was freedom as well, because, you know, like, if you have something that grows to a point where it's self-sustaining, because, you know, you've provided a lot of jobs for people, and you know, you've helped the industry as a whole, and then it's creating a company where people are really taken care of, and they can better their lives, and financially, mentally, like, however you want to put it, right? Like, we are teaching a skill here, because we are pretty much hiring mostly apprentices with no experience, and then we train them our system. So that helps in a few different levels, because in the trades right now, there's not a whole lot of people coming in. Right? If you're looking about it, it's not the most attractive one, and everybody's kind of going towards science and computer science and all this stuff. But now with AI coming to town, those jobs are kind of a little bit on the line, right? So I think it's going to be important for people to learn a skill that they can do with their hands, and they can pretty much bring anywhere in the world, because let's face it, you know, you can go in any country and you can find a job very easily, or open a business or whatnot in painting. And that's pretty much what motivates me. And you know, it's very nice to have a place where you get along with the people, and you share the same values, and you share the same, you know, the same knowledge, kind of the same interests and things in this. So it's just overall, like, it's a very lonely world when you're a painter, and especially when you're a painting business owner operator, like when you're by yourself. I remember painting, and, you know, you really don't have anybody. You're all by yourself all day. Just you and a brush and a roller, and just keep
a
going.
Lonely Mihai all by himself.
So it's nice when you're coming to work, and, you know, you chat with everybody, and everybody's very lively and happy and joking and all this stuff. So this is kind of the culture, and the company that I envision having, and just bring a lot of good to the world in every way possible.
Yeah.
And I know this kind of probably feels woo-woo to some people and all that stuff, but that's
talk
the
about
truth.
painting.
Yeah.
Get back to painting.
So I think we kept this episode long enough. We should probably cut it up before we bore people with all this stuff.
But I really enjoyed that conversation. I always it's always nice to kind of reaffirm, why we're doing this and keep that goal in mind. And I think it's a beautiful thing, man. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
If, like always, if you like what you saw, you get value, and, for any reason, or you just like us, or you like my accent, or you like how I'm not finding my words or whatnot, just give us a like, a share, subscribe to
Ask
our
us
channels.
A question if you have anything,
we're always here to help, and that's what we do. So thank you very much, and see you on the next episode.